Awesome. Thanks, Rach. Thanks, Blake. All right, guys, we're going to kick off right away. There's 2 presentations to get through today. Brand new on the Zoom. I was having massive issues with GoToWebinar. It kept crashing on me, kept doing some weird things. So hopefully this will work okay now. All right, we're going to play this and we are going to kick off. So today is all about automation. So that means systems, methods in your business so we can take more time off. What's common in the fitness industry is trainers work 1,000,000 hours a day, but it's stuff that could be outsourced to a person or even better to a system, to a computer, to some technology. Okay, so it's a difference between working really hard constantly and the business working hard for you so we can step up and step away. So today there's going to be some content, 2 slides, 2 presentations to get through. There's going to be a worksheet and then I'll open it up to Q&A at the end for those of you here on live. Same as always, I'll update ASAP the slides from today and the replay so you can watch it any way you like at the end. Okay. All right, so I want to know a bit of a check-in since last week. Just type in the question box while I fill up my water bottle. I want to know a check-in from you guys. Big wins, small wins, perhaps a win with marketing, perhaps a win with sales, perhaps a win with some of the content we've previously created. Perhaps there's been a mindset shift. I want to hear about those. So just pop it in the box down below. I definitely want to hear what's going on here with wins for you. So pop that in. I'll be right back. All right, wins for the week. Not one win. One win. Written first cheat sheet and got lots of leads to follow up for that. And trying to just be more focused. Yeah, awesome. Focus is the key in our game with so much going on. Sorry, phone dropped out. All good. I came back to a blank screen. Good, some good wins. Good numbers for our courses this weekend. Nice, Josh. Leads converted and coming through from our adverts. Gym finished. Almost completed all gym docs. Boom. Big week. New employee. Awesome, Blake. This really applies for you, today's content on automation. Good work, guys. Good to hear those wins. We've got obviously this afternoon and then 20% left of the working week tomorrow, Friday, where most people switch off. So it's a good chance to keep kicking it on. All right, so we'll go back to the slideshow there. Good wins there, guys. Good work. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I want to know right now how automated your marketing is. So 1 would be, your marketing, your sales, and your delivery. So 1 would be not at all, lots and lots of work to do, no automation. 10 would be you barely have to step inside your business or center for it to operate and continue to grow. Where are you on a scale there from 1 to 10? Just pop it in the chat box. 1. Gee, guys, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. 1. The good news is it's easy to double or even triple 1. But, we can't do much with 9. There's not much room to go if there's a 9. So if you're a 10, there's no point in listening. You can sort of hang up and leave. So that's good. We're all at 115. Okay, cool. Hopefully by today we'll get some clarity on how to take that up to, for all of us, another 3 to 5 points, in the next couple of weeks. So the problem with no automation is it's damn exhausting without systems. It's really, really exhausting. We're doing all the work from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're doing all the work included in, everything from getting new clients and leads and sales to following up to phone calls. I'm on the balcony near the airport and there's lots of planes, so let it go so you can hear me. From picking up toilet paper to cleaning the front doors to changing the light bulbs to calling a client who didn't show up this morning. That's what happens. And you can do that for a year or two or maybe 5, but it's no way to live and it's no way to grow a sustainable business. So what ends up happening is you get exhausted, one, which affects your relationships, your fun, your own training. And two, you end up dropping the ball. You can't juggle a million things at once for a long time. Okay? No matter how good you are. And we're getting the problem of one more client. We're always after one more client, one more client, one more client. One more client will fix this. One more client will fix this problem. Just another $100 a week will fix this. And again, that's an exhausting way to run your business. So let's change that. So I remember a long time ago, I read a book from Robert Kiyosaki called The Cash Flow Quadrant, which should be a must. And he told the story of two brothers who set out to build a new business of getting water from the dam in the country through to the city. And they would get paid on the amount of buckets of water. Okay, so the first brother, he got to action straight away. He was a worker. He was a doer. So he started lugging 2 buckets to the dam, back to the city. On the hour, he managed to do 7 to 8 round trips per day, holding 2 buckets. After all, as he got stronger doing these farmers' walks, and he got fitter and better endurance, he got bigger buckets. So he increased the weight of the buckets so he could sell more per litre. Then he got really smart, got a trailer that he could tow like a sled with straps on. Then he got bigger buckets again. He got stronger again. And now he was doing 10x the amount he was. There are a few issues though. One was the weather. On a nice day it was okay. But if it got too hot, he would take his shirt off and get horribly sweaty and exhausting. And he'd end up having to drink half the water that he could have sold to stay switched on and hydrated. The other issue was the cold. Days it would get freezing cold. And if you ever lifted or done like labouring work or swung an axe when it's cold and the steel's cold, that was his problem with the buckets. They had silver handles and his hands were rock frozen. And when it was raining, it was hard to pull the sled. So it was an unreliable way to do business. After all, I started getting sick, which means he would take days off with no pay. And it was just him as a one-man band, so he couldn't cover the workload of doing 7 to 8 round trips per day. His brother had a background in geography. So he took a while to get going, but he started to survey the land, work out where the soil was right and the soil was extra hard versus extra soft. And he saw his brother doing 5 times, then 10 times the amount he was. But in the background, he started to build a pipeline. His background was in geography, and he hired some guys who were into drilling and pipelines. So he's built a permanent pipeline from the dam to the city. It cost more to set up than the buckets in the sled. But the beauty of it was, when it was in demand, he could turn the pipeline up, speed it up to pump more water through to the city. When they didn't need any or they had enough stock, he could turn it down. All from the touch of one machine. How many buckets did he have to carry from the dam to the city? None. He built a pipeline. So I want to know which one are you right now? Are you the person going out hunting for leads every day? Or are you the guy or girl with the ability to turn the pipeline on and then turn the pipeline off when you need it? So again, just pop in, let's type in water or pipe into the box. If you're a water carrier, awesome, type in water or the water emoji, or type in pipe or pipeline if you're the second version, where you can turn it on and off on demand. Water, the whale, nice. Would like to be that pipe, 100%. So we definitely want to be the second brother, the engineer, the guy building the pipeline in the background. So today we're going to work on that, okay? How can we build that pipeline to have clients on demand where we can turn it on and turn it off when we need it, and it's a reliable, consistent way to pump that through. So again, I want you to check in, and I like the webinars where I'm keeping people entertained and involved. So I'm going to ask lots of questions today. So I want to know, why do you want to automate your marketing? What will it give you? Not just time or freedom, but what would that time or freedom give you? Is it to spend more time doing other things in the business that you love doing? Is it to spend more time doing a hobby that you love, fishing, knitting, bridge club, surfing, training? Is it to travel the world and have staff running your center or your online business? Why does this matter to you? If we can find a why, it's always more likely to stick. For me, like, my ultimate thing is location independence. So to be able to work from anywhere in the world. I don't necessarily want to do that forever, but to have the ability to travel, if someone is speaking or giving a workshop on the other side of the world, I'm able to take your business with me, and that holiday won't impact my income. If I want to automate it while I'm away, great. I can have my staff running it, but for me, it's had to have the ability to do that. And as Tim Ferriss says, the ultimate freedom is to be able to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want, wherever you want. So that to me is very important. More energy, travel time, and my training, awesome. Yep, good holiday, growing the business bigger and better. Awesome. Yeah, for sure, Rach. That's good. We're working towards that. More energy. Yeah, Blake. You do this for long enough and it zaps your energy all the early mornings, late nights. Surf more. Yeah, definitely surf more. Developing a skill set. Yeah, I think that feeling of progress, like, it's very motivating to know you're expanding and growing in those areas, and this forces you to be a marketing pro to move on from that. Yeah, more time freedom, 100%. All right. So in a moment, we're going to get into 5 keys to doing this. But before we do that, I want to know right now all the things you should be doing right now, but you're not. So this could be things such as really nailing Facebook ads or online traffic, getting your website up and running, like that video I shot for you guys on what your website should look like with the red, green, orange offers, automating email campaigns so that once a client joins you, the next 6 months are preloaded. What are the things you should be doing right now, but you're not? Training a team member, which means developing systems and putting in the time to coach them. Perhaps it's asking for help. I still struggle with that, for saying, hey, I can't do this, can I have your help? I don't know if it's a guy thing or an ego thing or both, or just a me thing. Yeah, cool, Rach. What are the things you should be doing, but for whatever reason, not? Filming testimonial vids, yes. Systems for following up leads. Getting an ad through the Facebook red tape. Yep. Yeah, case studies, definitely. Awesome, guys. I hope you're writing these things down. This is probably one thing to write down for yourself as well, or just copy-paste your answer if you use your phone for a planner. Facebook ads, website, automated emails, blogs. Yep, awesome. It sounds like a lot of us are having similar themes with the automated emails, the online traffic. Cool. That's meant to say shoulding, not shouldering, but same matters, same thing. Tony Robbins is saying, like, people should all over themselves. It's a play on words. That, we're so busy doing the shoulds. Oh, I should be doing that. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I want to give you guys more accountability with that Monday and Thursday check-in, which we've started, to stop shoulding all over ourselves. But it's really easy to see the things we should be doing, but we just are not for whatever reason. Perhaps, I'm working with a client not in this group. I'm working with him one-on-one at the moment. who was an ex-athlete, spends heaps of time, 3 or 4 hours a day training, and with his diet and training is impeccable. But when it comes to business stuff, he had this apprehension because he thought it was all too hard. He thought running an ad campaign was way too hard, so I just won't even start it. I'll just have my head in the sand. I won't even look at my numbers, look at my income. And he said, this is one thing he was shooting all over himself with, getting real with the numbers and learning marketing and sales. So if we look at a bit of a quadrant of where your marketing message can be, I'll just move this so you can see it. Okay, so if you look at the 4 quadrants that your marketing can be in, at the top and bottom we've got consistent versus inconsistent. So as we've spoken about with your communication rhythm, finding even if it's once a week for now, twice a week, 3 times a week, that consistent marketing message via email and social. And then from left to right we've got hands-on and hands-off. So the far left is really hands-on, you doing all the heavy lifting to get the piece out. And the far end of the scale, the far right, might be you shoot the video and then you send it to Dropbox and then your team know to transcribe it, trim it, upload it to YouTube, embed it into WordPress, send the email out. Your team, that would be the ideal in hands-off. Okay, so if we look at top left on your screen, working clockwise, so the top left quadrant is 1. Let me see if I can draw on the screen. I think I can. Oop. There is a way to draw on the screen with Zoom. Let me just have a play. Yeah, so here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and here's 4. Just let me know, guys, where are you with that? Do you think you're very hands-on, and high consistent would be in the 1? If you're hands-off and consistent would be 2, where most of us want to get to. If you're hands-on and inconsistent, it'd be 3. If you're hands-off, but it's not consistent enough, you'd be a 4. So just quickly pop in 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's cool to use Zoom. This is so much easier. Three, yep. A lot of us in 3. Flow between 3 and 1, yep. Cool. 3, 1's okay. It's okay to be at 1. At least we're consistent. And we can work towards being consistent, but then shifting across to the right so we're more hands-off. So 3 is probably the worst place you want to be, 3 or 4. I think consistency matters most. If at the moment it's consistent but it's hands-on, that's okay. At least it's consistent. To be honest, I'm still a one-man band, and so mine's consistent and very hands-on. I'll tell you in a moment how I've just increased my work team, and it might appeal to some of you, the thing I've done. So I can now get a little bit more hands-off. But for me, yeah, I'm definitely a 1 right now. I'm trying to shoot 3 lives a week and do 2 emails a week, but it's all me. Okay, some of my ads are hands-off, just putting the list in the background. But yeah, definitely for me, I'm still very much in the 1. All right, now, take those numbers away. Let's look at some terms to put in each of where these things are, okay? So if you're in the 1, consistent but hands-on, it pays to have some reminders to know what to do. So it pays to have in your calendar, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, shoot the video and upload, or whatever your communication rhythm is. Or every Tuesday morning, you're finishing off the video, Wednesday morning reminder to email it to your list. Whatever your system is, we need to have consistent reminders in that. If it's in box 3, the one down here, it's on your mind, but it probably never gets done. If it's hands-off and inconsistent, it's probably never mind. You probably don't think about it. If someone else is doing it and it really gets done, it's probably not on your mind at all. Where we want to be, top right, is peace of mind. We want to work towards this quadrant number 2 up here, where it's consistent and it's hands-off, and we have peace of mind because, hang on, motorbike coming past. We have peace of mind because we know it's happening, and we also know it's getting done because our team are behind the scenes making it work. And lastly, where will this leave you? Well, number one is going to lead to burnout. You're doing all the work, but it's very hands-on. And you're not able to go surfing or traveling or those things we mentioned before, which was your why to nail this automation. If it's on your mind, quadrant 3, bottom left, then we sit still. We're not going to be able to grow because we have an inconsistent message. If it's never mind, inconsistent, we're probably going to drop out of the business because we're not going to get enough leads coming through with our marketing, with our marketing message. And if it's top right, peace of mind, then we can scale up. Once you've got these systems in place, we can go from 1 post a week to 6, and yeah, we can definitely scale up. You think Gary Vee is ever editing his videos and cropping them and putting the text over the top? No, of course not. But he would have started in quadrant 1 years and years and years ago. Okay. So, I want to know so far from the last 23 minutes and 15 slides, what's been most useful so far? Just one or two words in the box. Just let me know. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to fill this out. What's been most useful so far that we've covered? Is it this diagram? Is it some of the stuff we started with? I like the diagram. Yeah, I'm loving these diagrams on Zoom I can do. It's very pretty and I like drawing stuff. And by the way, guys, can you see how these diagrams for you in a face-to-face sales or even a Skype consult could draw the prospect in? Really simple drawings. You know, we went from here to here to here as I drew them out. I don't know how to draw live on the thing yet, but I could. But just a side note, how it draws your imagination in when I'm doing those. So we can definitely integrate those into your selling situations or even your seminars, having simple diagrams that you can remember. Yeah, Josh, look, thanks for admitting that, man. Yeah, you're at 1 at the moment and feeling pretty burnt out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, same, Rach. Yeah, cool. Yeah, and you know, Josh, for you guys with Above and the Way this year, automation matters even more. But again, see that as a blessing. It's a good thing. You've got a good deadline in a few months to get that done. So it's nice to know. All right, we're now going to move on to the 5 keys. 11 years of being cooked. Yeah, for sure, man. You've got a good name now. You've got a good list. Now it's time, like we chatted about yesterday, to scale. So you can sleep in. You and Soph can go for a run or sleep in or do whatever you want, and the gym runs itself to an extent. Okay, kicking off slide 2, presentation 2 with the 5 keys. So, key number 1, I'm trying to move this thing off the screen. I don't know if you can see it, but it's blocking my screen. Okay, key number 1 is to work hard once. We're all working hard. Like, we're all trying hard, we're all business owners, we're all putting our best in the hours we work. The difference is, though, I try to work hard once and then save the system, whereas others work hard doing the same thing day in, day out on what is a $10 per hour or a $15 per hour task, where your 5%, your zone of genius, is your $100 an hour tasks. Okay? So the key is to work hard once, do the work once, get paid forever. I still remember one of the first business seminars I went to. I was just a PT, just started working for myself. I was 17 or 18, and Brad Sugars, the host, said, "Do the work once, get paid forever. Do the work once, get paid forever." So how can we do the work once or work hard once? You're already working hard, so you may as well just work a little bit harder and tweak it a little bit more so that we can develop a system, and it's done now for a long time. So we'll get to some examples of this, but one of the best ones, the pipeline for advertising is one, which is never fully automated because Facebook changed and we changed our offer, but the ability to turn on and also turn off our lead gen. The onboarding of a client is one where I know we can all improve on. So from the day that a client says yes with us, how can we automate the next 3, 6, 12 months as much as possible to save you time and to ensure they stay they stay switched on with what's happening and focus on their goals. So email automation is one. In the most simple sense, we should have 3 or 4 automated emails that go out to the client on day 0. So once we enter their billing into the system or whatever what happens there, it's on the day or the next day, an email goes out. 2 or 3 days later, email 2 goes out, email 3, email 4. At the very least, 4 emails should be preloaded into your system right now. If not, that's probably your number 1 task at the back of today. In a perfect world, you would take 1 to 2 hours out of your day, maybe half a day out, 4 or 5 hour block. Go to an office where you can lock yourself in. Go to a cafe, headphones in, and write out 1 email per week for the next 20 weeks. These don't have to be long emails. Email 1 is literally, hey, first name. Use whatever code to get their first name embedded. Hey, Pete. Just want to say once again, welcome to the crew or team or whatever you call yourself. If you have a nickname, like Rach and Mike say formers, they've got Form Fitness, so they call formers, I think, is their nicknames. That's a cool thing. So welcome to the Form family, or congrats on being a former. Form fam, sorry. Welcome to the Form fam. If you have any questions, here's my personal mobile. Here's a link to the Facebook group. Make sure you add yourself in, and we can't wait to see you working hard this week. Email 2. Hey there again, Pete. Just checking in. How your first workout's going? Do you have any questions? That's it. The next email. Hey, now that you've settled in, here's a link to our blog if you haven't checked it out before. Here's our top 2 blogs on nutrition. Link. Here's our top 2 blogs on training. Link. And here's probably the most personal blog I've ever written, the story on how Pete's Fitness was formed. Link. Like that's the extent of the emails. They don't have to be pretty newsletter formatted. In fact, I think they look even better if they're the opposite. Just pure text on a white background. It looks very personal. And you might map out, I'm very visual with this, you might start this on a whiteboard, like week 1, week 2, week 3, what's the perfect message each week, or if you do 2 a week, whatever your rhythm is, that's fine. And if, let's say, you have 6 months worth of emails, but it's a 3-month package, if someone drops out, doesn't matter, keep them on the list, they're going to keep hearing from you once a week, which is going to build that trust even more. They might come back at the end of that time. They might refer the emails on. But you can see how automating this. Do the work once, literally 4 or 5 hours, would have it done for the rest, and make it evergreen. Don't use dates or, hey, Christmas is coming up. Make it evergreen, so whoever starts any time in the year, it applies. You can update some things like links, but the format shouldn't have to change for many, many years. I did mine, and it lasted like over 8 years. I checked it occasionally to make sure it still worked and was still relevant, and we might have added some stuff in as our we used to track what was the best ranking blog, so that would be linked in. So that might change once every quarter, but it's sort of set it and forget it. Key number 2 is to be the architect. So what I mean is, and I get there's a transition here that has to happen, but once we've been going for a year or more, there's no excuse not to be the architect. So the architect is the person drawing the plans, thinking big picture, drawing up a flow chart of how the new funnel part of the business might look, and then sending it to your team, who then, lay the bricks. So we're the architect who designs a pretty picture, the big plan, the big system, and then we have our builders go and lay the bricks. Okay. If you love being techie, in fact, let's ask you a bit of a question now. If you love the tech stuff, like building autoresponders, building marketing funnels, building ClickFunnels pages, designing ebooks, if you love that, I want you to type geek in the question box. If you don't love this stuff and hate doing it, or just despise it and avoid it and procrastinate, then write weak, W-E-A-K. So I want to see either geek, you love this stuff, you probably have a background in RT or design perhaps, or weak, you don't love it. Yep. Yeah, so Rach says she likes being a geek, but doesn't exactly know how to do some of the stuff properly. Weak but like to love it. Yep. Bit of both. Yeah, sure, man. I think there's other parts of the business this applies as well, especially those with facilities. Like, the architect. Put it this way: Richard Branson doesn't fly the planes, clean the planes, or service the planes, right? He's the architect. He's the guy, the front of the company. So again, with the offline stuff, the facility, we're working towards having the builders change the light globes, mop the floors, that kind of stuff, and we're the bigger picture CEO. Someone pulled me up on this a while ago. They said, "But Pete, I'm the type of owner who, if I see a cobweb, I'm going to clean it." And I 100% agree with that. There's a management principle which says if you see a snake, kill it. Don't have a snake meeting about the snake. I'm not advocating beating snakes to death, of course, but the theory is if you see a problem as an owner, you fix it straight away and then have the meeting. Don't not fix a problem and come back. But definitely with the both tech stuff and small stuff in the business like buying toilet paper, we need to work towards being the architect, not the builder. So, what I said before, I said I've just brought some team members on to help me with this stuff. I've just invested for $250 a month. It used to be $200. It's now $250. I've brought on a team, or it's like a company. They have a team of people, I'm guessing, that look after all the tech stuff. So, back-end integration, Aweber stuff. I'm still building some, like I'm helping Rachel with hers now, like I'm doing that myself. But once this is set up for myself and probably for some of my clients, I'll be able to automate some of that. So I draw the picture of how I want the webinar registration page into the thank you page look. And although I can do it, I will then delegate it or just send them a picture of what I want it to look like, and they will build the builders and go through and lay the bricks. If you're at that stage where you think your time's worth more than $250 a month, what's that? 125, like 70, 80 bucks, like one client a week. If you want the link to those, just pop it, maybe not in this chat, maybe pop it in the Facebook group later, and I'll send the link. I don't get commission off this. It's just if you want that for $250 a month, I think it's really good value. If you want to know how I go, I'll check in with you guys in a few weeks and tell you how they are. They've come highly recommended, but I haven't actually used them yet, but maybe I can give you some feedback once they're cranking. A lot of you might be in that in-between stage where you know you need this, but it's an income thing. Fine. Let's get marketing up. Let's get weekly revenue up, then we can start to delegate some of this stuff out. So, we want to be the designer, not the doer. Step number 3 is paving their path. Or hot tip number 3 is paving their path. So, engineering those next steps, we've spoken about the 4 money pages, like a free download, into a thank you page, which suggests the conversion tool, into the seminar registration page or webinar page, and then into the follow-up series. So we want to pave that path and show them where to go. Okay, we're not leaving it up to chance. We're engineering the next steps. So we're always figuring out what happens next for the prospect. Okay, they've downloaded my ethical bribe, the gateway drug, the free report, the cheat sheet, the PDF, and now we're engineering what steps they take next. Step number 4 is about backfilling content. This applies to your email autoresponders, but also your social media. Whenever you see a link that you want to post, or have an idea for a video or a blog you want to write, have either a note on your computer or use Evernote. If you want to carry a small notebook around, like a little pocket notebook around, be my guest. As soon as you think of something, write it down and have a place where all this stuff is stored. When you come to write a blog, you know where to go. Or when you need to write a new email or do a marketing piece, you know where to go. You know what the next steps are. In terms of the email, I've already sort of got ahead of myself and chatted about this, but we want to be looking at, for now, at least 4 emails. Then ideally, we're looking at the next 3 to 6 months of automated emails going out once a new client signs up with us. If they drop out, doesn't matter. They're still hearing from us. There was a guy in Brisbane a while ago, Brad Shepard. He used to have 2 years of content, and it was quite what's the term? It was written in a way that it didn't matter if they dropped out or not. It was just like health tips. How you going? How can I help? Here's a link. Yada yada yada. So he had 104 emails lined up, 1 a week for 2 years to completely automate, and that's the ultimate in backfilling content. So how can you backfill content ideas? Have a place to store that so when it comes time to blogging or video and you know what to say. And take the time to invest. It'll take an afternoon, block out 4 hours where you can write 12 or ideally 26 emails and then preload them into your email thing and then have them sent out 7 days or 5 days or 3 days apart, depending on what that rhythm is. You know what, guys? I've just done my 5 top tips, and I haven't even updated the 5th. So let me find the 5th right now. Whilst I'm finding the 5th, let's segue nicely into what you found most useful from the second session of the top 5 tips. I don't know what it was. It was so guys, let me know what the most useful thing from part 2 has been. I've just realized what number 5 was, and that was install it. So what I mean is we've backfilled the content, we've written the emails, and now we install it, which I've already covered anyway, by going into Aweber or Infusionsoft or Constant Contact, and every 7 days, the next email, the next email, the next email, we say that as an autoresponder, we assign that to a list. When a new client joins with us, we have their paperwork, it should go into a tray, and then from there, whoever picks it up from that tray, either you or ideally the builders, enters their billing system in, their direct debit details. I don't know why I type like this. Apparently that's how you type. We enter their bank details, and then we update them into the email list, and then automatically this automation will take part and roll through. So I'm going to open it up to, if I can find it, the chat and see what has been most useful as I scroll up. Yeah, how powerful this stuff can be. Definitely, man. We're always thinking we're a CEO of a marketing business which happens to change people's lives via fitness. I like the diagram, yep. Yeah, excitement around getting this done, 100%. But I think the hours back you can have and the better retention you'll get from clients once this is all systemized out. All right, guys, now's the part of the call where if you have work to do, by all means, say sayonara to me and go get shit done. It's about focused hustle, not working 16 hours per day. If you have questions, I can unmute you, put you on video, run through any of this stuff that you need. Which autoresponder? Thanks, Gus. Talk soon, man. Which autoresponder? I use Aweber, Aweber. I like it. It's simple. I've heard Constant Contact is very good. I used to use iContact, but they're all very, very similar. The functionality that you want is automation, which they all do, and affordability. You know, I think Aweber for me, I've got a small list, is like 20 a month, 5 a week. Yeah, good question, Rach. I don't know if you guys can see the question box, so I'll ask a question. Rach asked, the difference between automated emails versus the Facebook group. Yeah, some of it might be even doubling up, but I do think, to answer your question, I do think some would be better off as emails. Facebook is good for quick chats, quick updates, quick polls, but definitely, yes, some auto emails would definitely help. As we're getting, more in depth this email automation stuff. Let's say you have announcements that go to your whole list, or you have sales messages which just go to clients. Later on, we can segment the list, and we're going to have rules that if someone's in the onboarding process of the first 6 weeks, then they won't get any other sales messages we email out. We can create rules and back-end systems behind, like segmentations. But for now, I'll just have like your list would be probably cheat sheet or step one opt-in. Yeah. And then the other one would be, client autoresponder list, and that goes out. But we create rules that if they quit, we don't want to make it too messy. I used to have like every week we used to go and have clients and past clients. But then what happens is as you're going for a few years, you get clients become past clients who become clients again, then drop off again like they do shorter term programs. It's really messy. So I would have like a list that's people who are clients once have been current client or they have been a client is list A. And then list B, yeah, it gets super messy. You want to keep it simple. And then I would just have people who have downloaded the cheat sheet. Most of your emails go to your entire list, especially updates or stories or cool videos you send out. You can, yeah, one person in multiple lists. And that's going to happen, especially if our funnel's working, where they come in and cheat sheet and then take us up on the offer for the 21-day transform and then become a client. They're going to be across multiple lists. And Aweber have the way that if people are on a couple of lists, we can make sure they only get it once. They're getting 5 emails each time we send an email out. Yeah. Sweet, guys. Any other questions or clarification? Anything we've covered? Yep. Josh asked if monthly newsletters are beneficial. Sure, that's like in the probably inconsistent category and hands-on. I would try go to it at least twice a month. Only about 20% of your emails ever get opened. So 20% of 1 month, unless you have a list of 50,000, isn't huge. Whereas 20% of twice a month is higher. 20% of once a week, and it's not always the same 20% opening them. So I would try go to weekly or fortnightly, twice a month as a minimum. But then it's not that hard to then shift to weekly. In the, what week was it? Not last week, the week before. Yeah, 2 a month. Not last week, the week before. So content module number 2, I think I cover communication rhythm. It might be worth rewatching that and definitely try for weekly, or for now, just once a fortnight. For sure. The goal would be weekly. Yeah, Blake, keep pushing, mate, like we chatted about yesterday. Plenty to do. Time to scale. You're the fun, yeah, not acting busy, yeah. You're the fun part now where we can truly scale and add, get to that $8,000 a week goal we've got, direct debit. Cool, guys. Thanks for switching to Zoom. I definitely like this much better. A day and a half left to the work week. Yeah, way better. Guys, I say work week because I want fitness. I want to start having weekends. Too many of us work 7 days a week, and we don't even know what a weekend is anymore. So I'm going to pretend like we finish work on a Friday night, the bulk of our work. So let's hustle hard to get it all done by tomorrow night. Talk soon, guys. Let you all go. Questions asked the group or me privately, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys.